adventurers. You know, I've had a couple of fuel filter problems throughout my bike's life. One where I just changed the fuel filter, and a couple of other times when I've queried it. Is this the problem? But there's a company in Italy, Guglatech, who makes filters that pretty much get rid of, here I am on the wrong side of the road, that pretty much get rid of that concern for you. No longer will I have, or will I even consider that I've got a fuel filter problem. So I guess one of the perks of the hobby is that people see my YouTube videos and they listen to what I've got to say, and I'm sure they take everything with a grain of salt, as they should. But one of the perks is that some companies say, hey, would you like to look at our product? And that's something that Guglatech has done for me. I think I've actually heard on the grapevine that a couple of people have said to me that they mentioned me to Guglatech, which is, wow, that's nice, huh? What a compliment. Anyway, Guglatech sent me a message and said, would you like to try this product? You know, we'd like to know what you think about it. They actually haven't fitted this setup on many 1190s yet. I think it's reasonably common, I think, on 990s, and they also have fuel filters for hundreds of other bikes and vehicles of all sorts. So I was quite interested to read about it once I knew about it, and Guglatech have sent me a setup that I've now fitted, and it was pretty easy to set up, and I'm pretty convinced that it gets rid of all my concerns about fuel filter issues. There's a couple little things, like filling the bike through the neck filter is a little bit more difficult on the 1190 than it was on bikes like the 990 and some other vehicles. But have a look at my installation video and see what you think.
Yeah, so changing the fuel filter is a fairly big job. I have done it before in this previous video, but today we're going to fix the problem forever. So how are we going to fix this problem forever? Well, Guglatech make filters for motorcycles. They're a filter company. They make filters for bikes and four-wheel drives and light aircraft and all sorts of things. But they have filters especially made for us adventurers. So they have these kits for the KTMs, all the LC8 motors, 990, 1190, 1290, 1090, the new 1290, the CRF 1000, the Yamaha Tenerés, all your BMWs, 1200 GS, Ducatis, Multistradas and Scramblers, and pretty much everything. So let's see how this thing goes together. So you get sent one of these boxes, and in the box comes a pamphlet, some sales brochures, some stickers. I don't know if that's more stickers than usual. An instruction for the tank filter, and then some of this awesome popcorn that they give you. Yeah, so what have we got? So we have a neck filter which sits in the fuel tank, and then when you fill your tank it goes through this filter. Then we have the tea bag filter, which is inside the pump, so we'll see that installed in a minute. So the paper filter that goes inside the pump, that's from the original filter kit. That gets turfed, no longer needed. And there's the tea bag filter difference. Look at the difference in size of that. And so this part is maintenance free, and then The fuel line that comes out of the tank then goes through a filter, an inline fuel filter, which can be replaced every whatever 30, 40, 50,000 kilometers. Just look up Guglatech's recommendations. Also in the box is a zip tie and another zip tie and a whole bunch of O-rings. Okay, so let's put this neck filter in. You can see it's quite large, so once it's in the tank you've got to spread that out. So I think what we first need to do is just undo this fuel cap. You put the filter into the tank, and then your little instruction bag here says to use this cable tie just to spread those wings out so that it's nice and open when it's in the tank. So you can see this this piece of the filler cap here fits quite neatly in there. So now when we open this up, there's a filter in there. So the next thing we're going to do is install the tea bag filter inside the pump and get rid of the paper filter. Huh. There's bits in there. I don't know, I mean it looks fairly dirty. I don't know if that would have been actually blocked or not. Anyway, what do we do with that? Make sure you don't mix up your old and your new ones. And we'll put this one straight back together. No paper filter inside. Now I had heard of Guglatech before, and I always thought, well, we've got pretty clean fuel in Australia, so I wasn't that interested. But now I'm kicking myself. So now we're going to take the new extra large tea bag, and this is where things get interesting. Ah, I see. So they've tapered it so that it will still fit in the bottom. So there we are. I have the pump back together with a giant tea bag filter, which is going to have much less restriction on the fuel flow. So the other thing that Guglatech asks us to do is to zip tie these clamps closed, because if these come loose and you get a fuel leak through the hose there, you lose all your pressure. And now those clamps can't possibly come undone. So what we've got here is the tank, where the tank quick connector connects. Runs up through here and then it goes into the injector just here. So we want to feed this back through. Now, Guglatech has provided me with 2 filters. This is the one they've been supplying, but they said if you can fit the larger one, you're better off. You're further, there's further longer service intervals. This will last longer. So the question is, where can this fit? Now, they need to be positioned pointing up and down so that no air can get trapped in the system. And we want to end up here. So I was just like thinking, well, there's a bit of a void here. I saw in a picture they had it strapped to this this strut on the inside there somewhere. But this is I mean the small one fits in there very nicely, but the big one won't quite fit in there, will it? Oh, it will go close. And of course we just have the rest of the hose run back to the tank. I think I mean that's it's really tight already, but by the time we zip tie it in there. So we now have our tank quick connector. We've run it through beside the motor up to our inline filter, and then that goes into the injectors. So we're filtered here with a replaceable filter. Alright, well here we are with the system fully installed. The inline filter pretty much where I think it should go. I might change this for a black one. Yeah, so that's pretty neat and tidy. Everything's tucked away, and of course up here we have the neck filter. Yeah, so anyway, let's see if it starts. To prime this, apparently you turn the key on and off and let the pump do its thing like 5 times. You can hear it starting to build pressure.
You can see the sock is down in there. Oh, spilled petrol everywhere, and it certainly restricts the flow. But yeah, the 1190 tank is just not perfectly suited for a neck filter. Oh, I've nearly got it to full trigger. I'll tell you, you can get it pretty close, but not quite.
Well, after 1,000 kilometers with the filtration system, I have to say the bike's feeling great. I have the LC8 Godzilla fuel filter system, which is including the HDM 3D Aquastop neck filter, which filters out water and everything. The system not only filters your fuel, but it protects the fuel pump by reducing load on the fuel pump and protecting it from gunk. I mean, if you've ever worried about your filtration system, then yeah, jump on the Guglatech.it website and see if they've got a filtration system for you. They have a lot of stuff there, so check it out. Cheers.
Clay.